So when it comes to budget tech, and actually budget laptops to be exact, we tend to default as standard to a Chromebook because it offers you the best value for money, performance, and they do tend to offer the basic stuff really, really well. But then we came across this Asus Vivobook, which offers a 15.6-inch display, 8GB of RAM, 512GB of storage, a 1080p Full HD display, and a 12th gen i3 processor with integrated graphics for less than £300. And I thought, do you know what? We need to buy it, we need to test it, and we need to answer the question, does something like this, which runs a full version of Windows and all the spec that we mentioned, offer better value for money than any Chromebook that we have ever tested? Let's find out. So quick walkthrough, essentially comes in this silver color, which is quite nice. This indentation you get on the top here, which says Asus Vivobook, again quite nice. On the bottom is where your heat will dissipate, which is a word I don't often use, but it's not badly said. So in terms of thermals, it will dissipate from here for any sort of task that may push it, which we'll get to in a second. On the other side here, you get a 3.5mm jack, you get a USB, two USB-A's, HDMI, and then this does have its own priority power connector, so it will not charge over USB-C, just so you know. That does come in the box, just to let you know. And then on the other side, you've got another USB-A port. And then if we whack it open as a whole, let's give you a quick rundown of that. So you get a full-size keyboard with your number pad on the other side. And then for privacy reasons as well, you can, if you want to, cover your camera on or off. It's just a simple slider function. That's kind of a quick look at an overview of the design profile of this particular Asus Vivobook. Now, actually, let's default to something pretty cool that we've been given by one of our partners, UGreen. So, pardon a break in the video itself. I want to talk about a couple accessories that fit the profile of the Asus Vivobook here and will actually complement it really, really well. First of all, you have this, which is essentially a MagSafe charging stand. So you can use this in two ways. Stood up, connect your phone here with a MagSafe ring on your iPhone, for example, or even your Samsung phones, but you can use it stood up or laying down. One thing I would say on top of that as well is on the rear here, you have space to charge your buds as well, which is sick. And to be fair, overall, it is very, very well built. 15 watts of max wireless output, which is sick. We'll have a link for that in the description as well if you did want to hit UGreen and buy directly through Amazon or via the website. Both the links will be provided. Moving on from that, we have this, which is the Revo dock, which we've plugged into the USB-C port here on our Asus Vivobook. And essentially this will offer you a few more functions. You get 3 total USB-C ports with a max power output. Now this is beneficial for anyone who has a rapid charging phone or a power bank or anything up to 100 watts of wired. And then you got 2 USB-A ports, which will actually do transfer rates at 10 gigabits per second. And then a HDMI. Obviously, if you have a laptop that has some of those ports already, you'll benefit from the faster charging ports. On some of the other ones, you may not have a single port. If, for example, you got an older MacBook, then you can offer a wider range of ports simply by buying something like this from UGreen. Thank you to UGreen for sponsoring this portion of the video. Both these products, Amazon links and the direct links to UGreen's website will be listed below. Now though, let's talk about power of the Asus Vivobook. So let's talk power and essentially the main grunt of the Asus Vivobook. The actual model number we'll link in our description as well. It's P something something. As we mentioned, you get 8GB of RAM, 512GB of storage, 1080p display, but that i3 processor 12th gen, let's give you a quick breakdown now. It overclocks at 4.4 GHz. The exact processor name is i3-1215U. So this is a mobile processor. So what you're gonna get here is performance to battery ratio. So this will give you the efficiency, so give you the best of both worlds. But that doesn't necessarily mean that this isn't going to offer you good performance overall. So we've run a Cinebench benchmark on the Asus Vivobook, and as you expect, the performance of it is middling, sort of the lower middle end. So this would be great for things like watching your content, browsing a web, Netflix, YouTube, some document editing, but also we're going to throw a little surprise in here. We've actually gamed on this Asus Vivobook. So we downloaded 2 games. You got Super Lucky's Tale and you have Gears of War Ultimate Edition, both downloaded from the Xbox store, connected via an Xbox controller, and actually, as you can see in this footage, they run reasonably well. Are they in the best possible graphics with the highest frame rates? No. That's not going to be possible because, again, this is an integrated UHD graphics chip, so it's not going to give you that top-end PC performance. But if you want to do some light gaming, and I'm talking light gaming, not like Gears of War Edge, then yes, it will run really, really well. And one thing I would say is compatibility with other devices, things like the Xbox controller, was insanely easy to set up. Click up Bluetooth, find the device, click it, done. Probably took 20 seconds. You can as well, if you have Game Pass Ultimate for Xbox, you can stream as well and cloud game on this Asus Vivobook, which I will say 70% of the time runs really, really well. 30% of the time does not run well at all. Whether that is data linked or whether that's graphics unit linked, I will leave that up to you. Also, what we want to do is run a quick Wi-Fi test as well to show you the speeds that can be handled by the Asus Vivobook. Now, we have a 1 gigabit per second line here in the UK, and unfortunately, not always do you get that speed. But what this does show is it is able to achieve relatively good speeds from a dedicated Wi-Fi hotspot, sort of a few rooms over, and yes, it does run really, really well. Lastly, we want to talk about is sound output. We're going to run a quick video here. We're going to shut up and we're going to allow you to gauge what you think of the sound output of this Asus Vivobook. So let's wrap this video up by quickly talking about a few other things. OS wise, as you'd expect, it runs Windows 11, which runs absolutely fine. You do get Copilot on here as well. And then the 512 gig, you get 480 gigabytes of usable memory. And then obviously this will get a lot of the newer software updates. Generally speaking, the performance of the laptop itself, for all the things you would associate with an i3 processor and a mobile graphics card and a mobile graphics chip, is very, very good. There's little here to dislike. Now, at the start of this video, we talked about comparisons to the Chromebook. Now, with the Chromebooks, what I would say is they are running really low-end processors. Usually the N4000 range in the Pentium process tends to be the default. You can get i3 and i5 processors, but then they tend to run in the, I think they're in the Plus series to be exact. We have done a review on the 515, I believe, which we'll link in the description. That was actually more expensive than this, and that wouldn't even load or even allow me to install a game like Call of Duty. On here, you actually can install that if you wanted to. It'll just run at the lower end. Overall though, I would say for the price to performance ratio of this particular laptop, it would be a definitive yes. 100%, I would buy this over a Chromebook all the live long day. Yes, there are subscriptions like Office 365 you have to pay for, but you can buy a one-off lifetime license if you needed to, and then you're kind of sorted. But for everything else, things like compatibility with apps, printers, which is a bit of a thing that not many people talk about, and availability of applications as well. So things like your games, etc., or any software that you may want to use in the future, wherever that may be, will be available here and likely won't be available on a Chromebook, which is a bit of a shame. Overall though, I would say that this has been an incredibly positive experience. At £299, this would be a great buy for someone looking for a new laptop, or looking to upgrade the laptop and don't want to spend a lot of money, or if you're looking to buy someone for something for Christmas, which is a series that we continue to do in the lead up to Christmas. And that's our review of the Asus Vivobook. Thank you so much for watching. Till the next one, as always, we out.